Mr. Speaker, at this time, I am very pleased to yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Kelly, an outstanding member of the Ways and Means Committee and chair of the Congressional Auto Caucus.
The gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much for giving me some time. I know I just heard the phrase that I am appalled by what's taking place on the floor today. I would tell you, I join in those comments, and I really do believe that. For a person whose family's been in the automobile business since 1953 and sold thousands and thousands of cars to people of any color, it doesn't matter the color of the person buying the car. Do we match them up with the transportation need that they were looking for? And were we able to arrange financing that was affordable to them? You cannot be in business for 65 years doing it the wrong way. And to impugn the integrity of the automobile people is absolutely beyond reproach. And so if you run out of facts, I guess the next thing you have to go to is discrimination. And when we talk this way, it is so divisive, but that's the platform. Let's divide them. Let's try to separate them. The color of the skin, the shape of their eye, their gender. Let's make sure that we can make every statement possible to show that there are bad people out there doing things to other folks. And it's only by discrimination that these things get done. I will tell you, I am greatly offended as a member of the automobile industry and as someone who has served thousands of people. If you think the dealers are that bad, please go to your hometown and look at the Little League fence and find out whose name's out there. Look at your high school programs and see who it is that's funding all these things. Go to any charity and see who's on the list of who takes care of people. To sit here today and have to listen that somehow this is discriminatory just adds to the fact that when you're out of facts, when you don't know what you're talking about and what you've never done, not one of your people have ever been on the floor and had tried, not this floor, I'm talking about the automobile floor. You know an awful lot about laptops, but you know nothing about blacktop. You get on that floor, you get on that lot, and you work with people to make sure they can have affordable transportation. Affordable transportation. Rather than this person trying to arrange financing by himself or herself, we rely on a dealer who has great heft within the financial community and to talk to lenders and say, we have a great customer here who's looking to buy a car. We need you to work with us to get them in this transportation. How in the world can you reduce this down to discrimination? We are doing the same thing every day that you are doing. We are trying to make sure that we're making America great every day in every way. And the best way to do that is to stop talking about discrimination and start talking about the nation. We're coming together as a people in spite of what you say. Thank you, gentlemen. I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. Members are reminded to address their remarks to the chair. The gentleman from Texas reserves. The gentlelady from California.
Thank you very much. The gentleman, Mr. Kelly, please do not leave because I want you to know that I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be. And this business about making America great again, it is your president that's dividing this country. And don't talk to me about the fact that we don't understand what happens on the automobile. No, I will not yield. No, I will not yield.
Okay.
Don't tell me that we don't understand. That's the attitude that's been given toward women time and time again.
The gentlelady will suspend. The chair wishes to remind all members that they are to address their remarks to the chair.
I respect the chair, but don't stop me in the middle when you didn't stop him in the middle. And so I shall continue. Don't you dare talk to me like that and think that somehow women don't understand what goes on the floor of automobile dealers.
Minded to direct her remarks to the chair. The gentlelady will continue in order.
I will continue to do that. However, I don't appreciate that you did not interrupt him when he was making those outrageous remarks about him knowing more about discrimination than I know about discrimination. I resent that, and I resent the remark about making America great again. He's down here making a speech for this dishonorable president of the United States of America. Having said that, I reserve the balance of my time, and no, I do not yield not 1 second to you. Not 1 second. Not 1 second to you.
Gentlelady reserve.
Reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlelady reserves the balance of her time. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
I have no other speakers, Mr. Speaker, so I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. The gentlelady from California is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and members. There are times on the floor of this Congress that we hear some of the most outrageous comments in defense of some of the most outrageous practices. This resolution is yet another harmful piece of legislation from the majority that should be rejected. Week after week, instead of working to benefit hardworking Americans and protect the public from abusive financial institutions, Republicans have advanced legislation to undermine and remove consumer and investor protections, threaten the stability of our economy and financial system, and benefit bad actors in the financial services industry. They're taking our system of financial regulation in precisely the wrong direction. Today, as we have discussed, the majority is putting forth a Congressional Review Act resolution that would repeal important Consumer Financial Protection Bureau guidance to prevent discrimination by indirect auto lenders. This resolution would set back efforts to prevent discriminatory auto lending, harm consumers, and make it harder for responsible businesses to follow the law. It is senseless and misguided. The resolution would also set a dangerous precedent by repealing years-old regulatory guidance, which is not how the Congressional Review Act was intended to be used. Opening the door to inappropriate uses of the Congressional Review Act like this one threatens the important work of regulators, not just of the financial services industry, but of all industries. So I call upon my colleagues across the aisle to work with the Democrats on policies that strengthen consumer protections rather than the harmful rollbacks like the one before us today. I urge members to oppose the resolution, and I want my friends on the opposite side of the aisle to know that we don't easily get up and talk about discrimination against minorities and people of color. We don't like to have to do this. We wish that we had come to a time in the history of this country where it did not happen. But I am appalled when the opposite side of the aisle stands up in strong defense of discrimination. If they were really interested in working with the Democrats, they would say, we have a better methodology of determining whether or not there's discrimination. We want to work with you. We want to do whatever is necessary to ensure that no one is discriminated against. Yet, I hear from members like Mr. Kelly who come to the floor talking about we don't know what we're talking about. We don't understand it. We've never been on the floor of a dealership. Oh, yes, I have. My husband was in the car business. I know a lot about it. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlelady's time has expired.